On a warm morning in July 1518, an extraordinary event began in a narrow, dimly lit street in Strasbourg, France. A woman named Frau Troffea, without any music or apparent reason, stepped out onto the street and began to dance. She danced for hours, then for days, without stopping. There was no smile or joy on her face. Her eyes were vacant. Her arms and legs twitched uncontrollably. No one at the time knew that this was not merely a dance, but the beginning of a deadly plague. She did not stop. She took no rest. She remained captivated by that fatal rhythm until her feet bled. Her clothes were soaked with sweat and her body trembled with exhaustion, yet it seemed she could not stop herself. Within a few days, about 30 others joined her. All of them, as if possessed by the same mysterious force, began to dance uncontrollably. By August, this number had swelled to 400. This is known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, one of the most enigmatic and terrifying events recorded in history. People danced for weeks without rest, food, or water. Their feet swelled, and they roamed the streets until their shoes were soaked with blood. Many collapsed from extreme exhaustion, yet their bodies continued to twitch. According to reports, at the peak of this plague, approximately 15 people died each day. Heart attacks, strokes, and severe dehydration were cited as causes of death. The city streets became filled with corpses and dancers on the brink of death. Normal city life was completely paralyzed, and fear and curiosity gripped the entire city. The attempts by city authorities and physicians to control this situation were exceedingly strange. In that era, the line between science and superstition was very thin. Physicians advised that this was a natural illness caused by overheated blood. They believed that allowing the afflicted to dance more would release the excess energy from their bodies and cure the ailment. Accordingly, large wooden stages were erected in the city center, and even professional musicians were hired to encourage the dancers. Guild halls in the city were also open for these dancers. However, this decision proved to be one of the biggest mistakes in history. With the rhythm of the music, hundreds more people were drawn into this deadly dance. It was as if the entire city was dancing to the rhythm of death. Eventually, when the situation became uncontrollable, the authorities completely banned music and public dancing. People at the time firmly believed this plague was a divine curse. Specifically, they believed that Saint Vitus inflicted such uncontrollable dancing as punishment for sinners. The afflicted were forcibly taken to the shrine of Saint Vitus, located on a hilltop, where they were made to wear red shoes sprinkled with holy water. Crosses were drawn on the soles and tops of these shoes. Amidst prayers, incense burning, and various rituals performed by priests, the plague mysteriously subsided. By September, just as it had begun, the remaining dancers, suffering from severe mental and physical trauma, returned to their homes. Many of them had no recollection of what they had done or why. 5 centuries later, modern scientists and historians still attempt to uncover its cause. One prominent scientific theory suggests that it was caused by poisoning from rye grain infected with the ergot fungus. This fungus can induce hallucinations, severe tremors, and mental confusion in people, similar to the effects of drugs like LSD. However, many scholars argue that someone suffering from ergot poisoning would not have been able to dance vigorously for so many days. Furthermore, they contend that such a large number of people reacting in the exact same way is unlikely to be due to ergot poisoning. Therefore, the more plausible theory is that it was a case of mass hysteria induced by severe psychological stress. In 1518, the residents of Strasbourg were enduring an extremely difficult period. Famine, severe diseases like smallpox and syphilis, and extreme religious fear had pushed people's minds to their limits. The social and economic collapse of the era had plunged people into intense psychological distress. In such circumstances, the abnormal behavior of one individual can spread like wildfire throughout an entire community. It is a mysterious way in which the mind can control the body. This may have been more a manifestation of a broken mind than a mere physical illness. The dancing plague of 1518 continues to remind us of the mysterious power and fragility of the human mind. It is not merely an event from history, but one of the strangest challenges humanity has ever faced. The story of those who danced to their deaths without any apparent reason remains an unsolved mystery, hidden in a dark corner of history. Although the narrow streets of Strasbourg are silent today, the rhythm of that deadly dance still echoes through the pages of history. How far can our minds drive us? Can our own bodies rebel against us? The answers to these questions still lie hidden in the dark streets of that distant past.